So we'll start with James F. and Haley. That's an awesome nickname, by the way. That's a good one. That's one of my favorites that we've had on here. So
Thank you.
this is your pro MMA debut as well. What are some things that you're kind of thinking about in the back of your mind as you make that switch from amateur to pro?
Um, to be honest, a lot of stuff that has gone through my mind with this going to pro. I went to pro kickboxing. Shout out to World Kickboxing Academy, Glory Kickboxing, actually Extreme Kickboxing that got me into. But to be honest, there's a lot of stuff that we've been training for a while for being a pro. I've had my brother Isaiah the Beast Chapman, rest in peace, who was getting me ready for it before anything ever happened to his passing. And to be honest, what I'm looking forward to is the same thing I look forward to every time I get into the cage. I love the excitement. I love the rush. I love it all. Now it's actually able to throw elbows and kicks to the head, which is something that I've been slightly going through with our training for years now. But to be able to actually incorporate it into actual fight is something I've been waiting for. I still have yet, and this is me talking. I still have yet to have my blood match. I have yet to bleed, and I've been waiting for my blood match. And hopefully, I can get my blood match eventually. If this is the fight that gives it to me, thank God. If not, then I'll be coming back to y'all again to make sure we can have it eventually.
That's awesome.
Absolutely. Loving to hear the confidence over there, by the way, as well. And Q, we're going to go ahead and flip it back to you real quick. So talk about your opponent a little bit. I know that he has some professional experience, has been on the regional scene for a little bit. What do you know about him?
I know he's fought in all the top up and comer pro fighters. I know two of them. They were really good in Ohio as amateurs, and he fought them as a pro. So it's going to be a good fight. I know that he's very explosive, has power. I watched some his videos where he just laid people out. And I'm like, nice. Got to watch out for that now. Always that one punch could just lay out. So I gotta be more patient in my fights instead of just take a shot. And I'm like, all right, let's get it.
Fair enough. Fair enough. And James, I'm going to go ahead and flip it back to you. You're fighting Todd Box of Demolition Fight Team. What do you know about him, and what are you expecting in the cage on Saturday night?
I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. I don't know nothing about this guy. Like absolutely
Fair
nothing.
enough.
But it's
Fair
not a
enough.
bad thing. But it's not a bad thing because what I do know is his gym. And I'm not trying to say I know them and this, that, and the third, but I've already fought two people from his gym. And the two people I fought from his gym was around the time I was still trying to get my feet wet with fighting. He's from Demolition. He got Ty Meese, who handed me my first loss in my third fight. And then I'm Jeremy Balboa, who was my third loss in my, I think it was fourth or fifth fight, sixth fight maybe. And I know that he comes from a wrestling gym. I know that he is a wrestler, and I know that's what they'll be doing is wrestling. So I have my coach now, who is right over there sitting down, who was trained by the Gracies, who now got me 3 jiu-jitsu tournament medals, all placed out. He's put me into better situations. I got wrestlers that's in my gym, D1 wrestlers that's coming to my gym, and other pro fighters that's actually trying to help me get better in my gym to get ready for this type of standard that's coming. So I'm very excited to actually get to try my hand now with another wrestler, not only from Demolition, but I feel like this is slightly my redemption match for already going against 2 other Demolition guys that I just found out was his teammates, by the way. So I'm very excited for this fight. I think he's already, from watching his fights, he has great wrestling. I never try to disrespect my opponents or never try to talk down about my opponents, but I feel like this would be one of the fights that challenge me and test me with the grappling and wrestling once again. And I'm going to be honest, I'm very excited about it. There's no jitters about it, no scare, no nothing. I want to see what he come with, but to be honest, I have yet to have a wrestler ever want to stand up and fight with me, so I don't expect him to do that. I don't. And if he stands up, I'm not saying it's a bad night for him, but you want to stick to what you know, and you're a wrestler. Stick to it.
And then one more question for you, James, before we kick it back to Wade. How did you even get into fighting? Like, what's your kind of backstory? How'd you get into this game, and how did you get to where you are now?
There's something about my life that put me into MMA. So when I state this, I stated from the bottom of my heart. I come from a very, very rough background, from a very, very rough neighborhood. A lot of my friends is either in jail or dead, or the ones that is around got out of this type of life. But I knew for a fact that I was either gonna die from fighting or I was gonna go to jail for fighting. So it took nothing to actually get into now being able to do this stuff legally in the fight. So the excitement and adrenaline rush is there. I wasn't the biggest athletic person in school, so football, basketball, and all that stuff really didn't 100% apply to me. But when, you know what I'm saying, one of my brothers, Isaiah the Beast Chapman, brought me in to MMA and brought me around my other brother, Jay Moore, it was like second nature. Like, and it kind of felt good to me. It felt like my life had that type of purpose at this point. So without MMA, I wouldn't be around. Like giving my love and my heart and my passion, my blood, sweat, and tears to this sport is the only thing I know. So that's the best thing for me.
Awesome. That's an awesome answer. And Q, for some of our viewers who might not have seen you before, what's your story? How did you get involved in MMA, and how did you get to where you are today, making your pro debut here on Saturday night?
Well, it's like me and my brothers would always, wrestle. My friends would always mess around. We have like our own little fight club in my garage. We throw a futon down. We're like, you guys are gonna fight till someone quits. Just don't punch them in the face, so we don't got to deal with our parents. And we just have tournaments like that in our room. And then I was getting pretty good at it. I was like, huh. And then I found a jiu-jitsu gym, was training there for a little bit until I got for about 2.5 years until I could get my first fight. My coach wanted me to be a blue belt. So I just grinded all the tournaments I could do and just till I got my blue belt. Got my blue belt in 7 months. And he's like, we're going to wait a little bit longer so you get your stand-up. And COVID happened, pushed it back a little bit. And had my first 2 fights in 2021. And then I started training at Demolition for my 3rd fight. And then ever since then, I've just been taking the ball and running with it.
Absolutely. Wade, I'm going to go ahead and kick it back to you.
All right, James. I was wondering, you want your blood fight, so that gets me wondering who do you model your style after? Is there like one fighter that really sticks out to
you? Honestly, I can't give it to just one fighter that sticks out to me. I don't know about a lot of other people, but I come from an older era of MMA, so I was watching a lot of older fighters like Chuck Liddell or you know what I'm saying, Dan Severn or things of that nature. So I'm more of the brawler nature type of background of MMA. So I would say the closest person that I can say be close to my style. This is the most difficult time to actually think of that. I don't think there's too many fighters that's close to my style. I would say Kevin Holland possible. At this current type of way, Kevin Holland. He'll be a little bit closer. I adapted my style into being more of a striker. Now, after years of going through like certain losses, I adapted going into jiu-jitsu, so I became a little bit more of a grappler fighter. So I would say I'm a little bit more well-rounded. I would say I was in the case of Kevin Holland. When he first started, he was losing a lot to jiu-jitsu. Then he built his jiu-jitsu background. So I want to say that's the person I could be closer modeled towards.
That's awesome. We love Kevin Holland around here because he always putting on exciting fights. So this makes me excited to watch your fight. I feel like it's going to be a banger and very exciting.
Thank you.
Q, I know we've asked you this before, but for the new people that haven't watched or seen you, who's your favorite fighter that you model around or group of fighters?
My group of fighters, number one, I'd say Mayhem Miller is like my number one.
I like him.
Yeah,
I love it.
He's like, first time I watched fight was him on Bully Beatdown. I was like, this is awesome. And then Justin Gaethje, Tom Aspinall, he's been like one I've been watching. Matt Brown's another one, I'd say. Are the ones I usually just try and take little notes from.
Okay.
Hey, Wade, I'm going to jump in. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, my bad.
No, I was going to say I like all them fighters. So.
We've got our first audience question of the night. So shout out to everybody at home. You can get a question in to our fighters here in the chat. Alex Ware, shout out Alex, says, both fighters, any special prep for the pro debut? So Quentin, we got you in the pilot seat. We'll stick with you first. Any special prep?
Not really, no. Just trying to get the head mindset right. It's already there. Just day before weigh-ins is just gonna be great now. I'm just like thinking of like the pasta I'm gonna eat afterwards. Like that's the biggest thing. I'm like, yeah, right now that's the biggest prep is just pasta. Step on the scale, pasta.
Just go out in the track. You get somebody just carrying a bowl in front of you. You know,
Yeah, you got this. Come on, kid. Got it.
2 more days till the pasta.
2 more days. Chicken Alfredo.
Oh, I'm with you there.
Yeah.
Let's go. Awesome, Quinn. Well, James, same question for you, man. Any special prep for the pro debut that you haven't talked about yet?
We have this thing that we do in the gym. I don't know. It started with the wrestlers that was from here. It's like they got the king of the mat where you'll literally wrestle. If you win, you'll keep on going and the opponent gets new. We have that type of set in here in the gym where we'll get in a cage and you'll grapple with an opponent until like you tap them. And then once that happens, a new fresh one comes in. That was incorporated with now doing 5-minute rounds. It actually was one of the things that made me feel like, yo, this is real now. Like you getting prepped for this, and now my coach was like, that's something that you're going to be doing from now on because you're a pro now. And I'm like, well, it ignited me and sparked me because I'm like, yeah, I love to go. I'm sorry, I can go all day. I love it, but at the same time, it's now like, yo, different for the body. Like you get better from it. Like it's way different. The weight cutting never mattered because I've always been able to cut weight. But the actual, like now jumping from amateur to jumping up to pro, the training changes. Things get different. It makes your body have to reacclimate to learning something that you know already. So it makes it feel new.
Okay. That makes perfect sense. I appreciate you both for that answer. And again, thank you to the crowd out there. Get your questions in while we still got the fighters here. We always appreciate you. Even you lurkers out there that are just watching, we love you too. I'll pass things back to Wade.
I was just gonna say, yeah, I know about King of the Mat. I was a wrestler growing up in high school, so we did that King of the Mat, and tell you what, that can work your cardio big time.
Yeah.
It was one of my favorite basketball drills back in the day too, to be honest, right? Where you just like, you got to get the stop to stay in, and you know, stop gets a point, bucket gets you on defense. You can only score on defense. Those are some grind sessions. So I can't even imagine. I mean, that pales in comparison to wrestling another human being on the mat. But I do love that. I love that one-on-one intensity. So yeah, Wade, what else you got for us?
Q, back to you. Speaking of your pasta, did you have any like special prep now that you're a pro? Like, did you really focus in on your nutrition as you do the weight cut?
I've always been pretty good with my nutrition. I got one of those calorie counting apps, whatever you want to call it. So I stick to like a lot of high protein diets and stuff like that. I don't really mess. I took a lot of like actual bread out. I don't eat a lot more bread, but I do a lot of carbs still. Just bread is just meh right now.
Yeah.
I kind of got like a hyper focus on potatoes, and so I just been like baked potatoes, just throwing them in the oven and just pulling them out, eggs and baked potatoes.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Make it real simple.
Yeah, I make everything simple. I don't want to overdo it. I'm like, that's for afterwards, where I don't gotta like weigh everything out and do everything. I'll sit.
For sure. All right, James, how about you? Any special diet to now that you're a pro?
I know I'm gonna get in trouble because my coach has been walking around and watching me say a lot of stuff, but I just don't care. Okay, you know I like to eat. Me personally, I never really had to worry about my weight because I've always been active. I have ADHD, so I've like always been active. So I can make my weight at any time, but I love to eat, and I can't have my steak. I can't have none of my protein type of shakes that I like. I usually like lifting, but seeing as I got to come down to 45, I cannot, you know what I'm saying, I cannot eat all I want. So shout outs to the jerk, Ryan Clark, my coach. Yeah, I mean, he's not the biggest jerk, but he a jerk because he won't let me eat. But I love eating. Like when I heard Quentin say pasta, in the back of my head, I was like, now I don't want steak anymore. I want pasta now after the fight. After the fight, I know what I want, and I'm going to Olive Garden the first chance I get.
I know.
Oh yeah.
Some endless breadsticks. That's awesome. Now, I guess for nutrition, do you guys believe that like eating certain stuff can give you a competitive edge? I'll stick with you, James.
Honestly, yes and no. It depends on what you eat. Like, I'm more of a clean eater, even still. Like, I find ways to clean eat, even if I eat anything I want. I feel personally, I'm a steak person. I love my red meat. I feel like it gives me my advantage to keep my energy, my proteins. Like, it doesn't take away from me as much as it may for others. It actually gives me more fuel. But I do like to have my protein shakes. Like before I started fighting, I was lifting a lot. So I was like, let me get my protein shakes, eat this, eat the eggs, eat that, keep eating, lifting, eating. So me personally, I feel like high protein foods give me my best like energy. It gives me my it's like I don't know, I'm an anime person. I don't know if you can see it on my arms of the dragon. It's my sensu bean. Okay, like
Hey,
I feel
there
like
we go.
it boosts me. So if I'm able to eat like that, I feel like I'm untouchable, personally.
Okay. Q, do you believe like certain foods are better for you for the fight game and gives you a competitive edge?
Yeah. I don't. I'm trying to think. I don't really do. I don't eat like if you're eating fast food all day. Yeah, that's not a. I don't think you're gonna do too well in the cage. You're gonna be eating all that fast. You're just sitting there like, Dairy Queen, third time today. It's my meal prep. Hey, that's expensive, but still. No, I keep it simple. I just basic meats, carbs. I do a lot of carbs from the fruit I eat.
Mm-hmm.
Oats. I do a nice bowl of oats in the morning before a nice workout. Get all that energy just so I can do. I do endurance a lot, so I can just keep going and going and going and going. Energizer bunny.
That's awesome. Yeah. For me, the research I've watched, and I've watched a lot of UFC people. Like, I do think that certain foods and the way you eat can give you competitive edge. Clayton, I'm gonna pass it over to you. Do you have any questions?
I do. So, Q, you're already there, so we'll stick with you. Talk about your prep for this fight, training partner wise. Who have you been training with, and who's been helping you get ready?
Oh hell! Pretty much everyone at the Black Market Jiu Jitsu, because we just do jiu jitsu rounds, and my coach Justin Flemons and Rex Hoffel, my teammate Rex Hoffel and Aaron Mock, they've helped me out a lot too. And then at Demolition, Dylan, Mateo, Todd, he's been helping me out with mine. He's the same height and everything with my guy, so that's helping out. Trying to think who else helped me. David Music from Demolitions helped me out too.
Okay.
It's just
I
got
got a crew over there, Q.
Yeah, no, it was hell doing the gauntlet.
I bet, dude.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Had to stare down Mateo, and I'm like, he's like, why you gotta be so pissed off looking all the time?
Yeah, there's no rest round in that grouping, man. Yeah,
No.
work that out for it.
Oh, and another one, Sam Kern. He's helped me out with a lot of my striking down in Demolition too. Just like fine tuning my kicks and punches. Since he's a Muay Thai guy, he's helping with some of my elbows too. So,
Dude, one of these days I want to do a Muay Thai show. Just fight 1, fight 12, Muay Thai all day. Give me 4 hours of it. I want it. I need it.
yeah. Well, I love how one champion does there. It's like, all right, we got Muay Thai, MMA, grappling, back to Muay Thai, MMA, then we got straight boxing. It's
I'd
awesome.
take that too.
That's a nice card. Switching it all up.
I love it.
James, we're going to go ahead and flip over to you. I believe you're the first Apex fighter we've had here on Carnage Unleashed. So talk about your gym, talk about some of your coaches and some of your training partners who've been helping you get ready.
There's not much I can say about a lot of my matches. I went against a good amount of wrestlers. That's perfectly normal for being at 45 and 55. But my teammates has actually been getting me prepared to actually deal with wrestlers in jiu-jitsu from my teammate Branson Price, who was ranked one of the top 20 fighters in Ohio, to Dusty Schaefer, which was another one of my teammates who was ranked top 20. That's been getting me ready for grappling. I got another teammate who's top 5 right now in Cage Thunder named Matt Brown. Actually, Matt Brown is his name. Then there's another teammate I have named Roman Probeck. He's actually a wrestler. They put me around a lot of wrestlers because that was one of my biggest weaknesses. So for the past 2 years, I've been training against wrestlers, learning myself with wrestling, getting better with wrestling, like to a point where it's like I know for a fact that wrestling is going to end up being my opponents 9 times out of 10. So it was like perfecto jiu-jitsu, and seeing as I'm longer and I'm more lean, jiu-jitsu would be my go-to. So we practice all of the wrestling takedown defenses, going into submissions right after chaining submissions. Like I said, I ended up going up against a couple of guys from Demolition already, knowing that they are wrestlers, and Ty Meese and Jeremy Balboa, knowing that they are wrestlers. So it's time to actually ramp up my grappling. So we practice grappling. For me, it was usually once a week. Now it's like 3 to 4 times a week. And then it's situational sparring. Then it's situational grappling. Then it's once you go into sparring, not to sound like this type of person, but from pros to amateurs, when they ever come to our gym during sparring, they be like, yeah, y'all spar too hard. It's not that we spar too hard, it's that we know our levels and we know how to go. We know when to go. And we just keep on thinking of the instinct of, yo, a fight will never be easy for you. A fight will never be light for you. A fighter's never going to stop for you. So even if you got to itch your eye, you better itch your eye and get back to it. So they've been actually keeping me more in tune because I'm a striker. My heart, striker by nature. They've been keeping me in tune with my wrestling, my grappling. So I'm turning into a grappler slowly but surely.
Nice.
Alrighty. Q, I'm going to go ahead and kick it back to you. I know you got a couple, and this is a little bit more of a personal question, but do you have a favorite tattoo that you have?
Oh shit, yeah. Right now it's my raccoon tattoo holding 2 pistols. Like, don't put me in that one. Yeah. That's my favorite one, but my second favorite, man. I have a bucket tattooed. Hold up, let me pull a picture. Right on my knee. And I did that one because I back in like 17 in high school, I was in a shop class and Matabo kicked back and cut my leg. And then it just scarred up, and I'm like, fuck it. So it's a life motto, honestly, right now is fuck it. Let's go.
Yeah, people are interested in that raccoon tattoo, Quentin.
Oh yeah, I'll pull that.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
I love that.
That's a good one, Q. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Oh, it's good.
James, I'm going to go ahead and kick it over to you. The people want to know, do you have a favorite tattoo?
They want to know, do I have a favorite tattoo?
Yeah.
Okay. Like I said, my brother Isaiah, the one who actually got me into this, you can see him right up there. Isaiah the Beast Chapman. And he passed away. And you know what I'm saying? He actually the one who got me into it from day one. So I had to get a tattoo right on my chest. Shout out to my tattoo artist, Terry Sharp, that's back there as well. Actually, I put it on my chest as well. So, you know what I'm saying? I walk with him every day. I told myself that I was going to bleed for this game, and he bled for me. Isaiah bled for this game as well. So I'm going to keep his legacy living on. Even when he's not with us, he's always going to be with us. So whenever I always go, I make sure it's on my chest. I market it. First and foremost, this is by far my favorite tattoo.
Respect.
Well, yeah, can't. You know, I love your. I do love those raccoons with the pistols, Quentin. But I think James might win this round.
Yeah, he's got that one.
And not to sound funny, he was already fighting in Bellator before he passed as well. So I got to make sure I make it there for him.
Absolutely.
That's some great
Oh, yeah,
motivation. Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
Just a reminder to all of our viewers, please keep the questions pumping in. We appreciate your guys' engagement. But James,
Shout
we're
out
gonna
to
go
the
ahead and
Clout
keep
Crew.
it with you.
You said
We're gonna
what?
keep it with you. Do you have a favorite drill? Like, is there anything in particular in the gym, like one drill? Like, if coach grabs like the Muay Thai pads, you're like, yeah, today's gonna be a good day.
To be honest, I don't 100% have a favorite drill because my coach is always trying to throw us a monkey wrench in our plans. So if he'd be like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? We about to do this. We about to get this little man in the back. He want to, all right, we going to practice the takedowns. And this is what's going to be. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm going to get into it. Then we get up from a takedown drill. So he'd be like, all right, now I want you to practice this combination. So my coach always knows how I am. I like to keep everything fresh so I can learn more and more and more. So I would say my by far favoriteest thing he call it unpredictability. Like, so he'll figure out one combination or one type of drill or one type of move, and he'll be like, I want you to try to throw it any type of way you can. Make sure the technique is perfect. We focus on technique before we focus on power. Before we focus on speed, we focus on technique. So with unpredictability is that he'll just, all right, I want you to figure out how you can get this move off in any situation. Doesn't matter the situation, in any situation. So he'll be like, up against the cage, off of your back, while you in full mount, half mount. I want you to practice on it. If you can't get to it, find a way you can get to a move that can chain that move back in. So me personally, I would say the biggest thing with that is the cardio and endurance. If anything he gives us here is cardio and endurance. A lot of people throw up from the stuff that we do here, but the way he pushes that into us and ingrain it into us to where he wants you to go forever in a day, like we make sure that that's the first thing we always go for.
All right, fair enough.
You're
Fair
on your
enough. Q,
toes.
we're gonna go ahead and kick it over to you. I know you're a jujitsu guy at heart, but do you have a favorite drill to work on in the gym?
Yes, my favorite drill is I've done it 3 or 4 times. We don't do it often, but we need to start doing it more. I've done it twice at Demolition, like 3 times at mine. Is you'll be hitting mitts, just either like Thai patch, or you're going like it'd be a mixture of speed, power, and then you have one or two people walking around you, and then randomly when you get done with a combo or mid combo, they go for a takedown on you. So you gotta like mid punches, you gotta go, oh shit, gotta defend a takedown real quick. Or you're hitting there, boom, 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 boom. And your coach looks at you like, take him down now. You gotta go take someone down with 16-ounce gloves on, and that is a struggle.
Sounds like a burner for sure.
Oh,
For sure.
you do that for about good 25 minutes. Yeah, you're gonna feel it.
Oh yeah, I can imagine. All right.
Well, gentlemen, we don't want to take up too much of your guys' time. Thank you guys very much for coming on. And James, we're going to start with you. Is there any sponsors you have? Anybody you want to shout out? Where can the people find you?
You can always find me in Akron, Ohio at Apex Fight System 3333 Manchester Road. You can always find me here. We make sure we're here 6-7 days a week if we could possibly muster it. Intimidation. That's one of my biggest sponsors besides Apex, which is another one of my sponsors. Impact Mouth Guards is another one of my sponsors. I'm about to start getting my sponsorship up, seeing as I'm a pro now. But Intimidation is one of my biggest sponsors. Impact Mouth Guard is one of my other biggest sponsors. So, you know what I'm saying? Them are the ones I would like to shout out to.
Awesome. Q, how about you? Who do you want to shout out?
Shout out the Sons of American Legion, Squadron 300, Fallen Oak Tattoo Studios. Hit up CJ Laney if you guys need tattoo work done. I need to get tattoo work done by him soon. Nails by Kenna. The Scott Street Gym. That's where I get a lot of my lifting in. And just my family's helped me out a little bit too. They help support. They come to my events and everything else.
Awesome. Well, I just want to say thank you both for stopping in and gracing us with your presence. We don't want to take up too much of your time, so you guys enjoy your night.
You too.
Can't wait to see you guys Saturday. Can't wait.
Oh, it's gonna be great.
Wait a second. I gotta see if my guys will give it to me real quick. Hey, that's all I needed.
That's
Yo,
all. What a
Beans,
send
appreciate
off.
y'all.
Yeah, have a good one.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. That was phenomenal. Once again, you can catch both those guys in action. When is that, Wade? Was that this Saturday? I think. I don't know. I
It's
feel like I have to
Saturday.
work
Potentially,
it. So.
potentially.
Woo.
Yep,
Saturday
this
at
Saturday.
7.
Yep.
That's right. And if you can't watch it live, you're going to have to just sit here and listen to Clayton and I talk about it on the pay-per-view. Carnage Media. You can find that on all of our social medias, although I will say Facebook will be back soon. All right. I think somebody got in trouble with the government or something. And somehow we're just all caught up in it. No, it's my fault. It'll be clear. For some reason I've been Facebook disabled, but Carnage Media is still around on Twitter, YouTube. Catch us there. You can find the links on bitesizesports.com as well. We'll have them posted there. But don't miss Renegade Rumble this Saturday. But gentlemen, I'm going to need you to help me out just a little bit, because while I got to watch that amazing ego boxing event from the Pickwa Center, I didn't get to see it live like you. I was so jealous. I will have you know. I hope, guys, to all of my dear comrades at Major League Indoor Soccer, please plug your ears, okay? Because I do love you. This has nothing to do with you. But when I got there into the Pickwa Center and saw you guys setting up a ring in the middle of a mall, I was like, damn, dude, really? Like, really? This is the weekend we're double booked? Like, this is the one I don't get to see live? Shout out, of course, to the Ohio Extreme. I do love it. Catch us on MLISpro.com. But Wade, Clayton, I'm going to let you guys lead me through this one. Where do we start with ego boxing?
Yeah, well, we're gonna start with what you said. They set it up in the middle of Pickwa Center of the mall, and
Sorry,
it was wild. It was wild. Like, they've got a great setup. They've got their gym in the mall. It's huge. It's really nice. The setup they got is awesome, and it was an awesome experience to have that all set up in the middle of Pickwa Center, and it was packed. It was crowded. It had to probably be at least 1,000 people there.
It was wild. And when you get a crowd like that, you just see Miller Lite cans. It seems like just appearing out of nowhere. It was a good crowd. It was fun. Definitely supported their people. Obviously, Smileback Training Center, Fightopia MMA, literally down the hallway from where they held the event. So when their guys won, it was kind of chaos, and it almost seemed like you could hear a pin drop when one of them would get upset. So made for an entertaining night. Overall, great night of fights. Shout out to the Connors. They did a great job here.
They did.
Wade, let's talk about some performances. Personally, RJ Flores had a great showing.
Yes.
As always, as you Carnage Media faithful know, RJ is going to get in there and he's going to put on a show. It was a good time. Love watching him fight.
I would say he is a real MVP. His last 2 fights have been short notice fights, and he just goes out there and puts a performance on. And he came up short in the one. This one, he did not. He got the decision win.
On top of just doing that, Wade, because that's 100% accurate, but he also jumps in. What was it for the kickboxing tournament? What was it like? 20 pounds. The guy was like 20 pounds heavier than him.
Yeah.
I can't remember. The dude was massive, because Gary was giving me a hard time at the commentary table. He's like, because I was like, we need to get RJ back for these tournaments. He's like, no, Kevin, all right, he's already fighting somebody. I'm not gonna see him matched up against any more 175 guys. So yeah, not only to stand in there and go toe to toe, but to put on those performances, and in this case, get the dub.
The first one was like a week notice. This one was literally morning of notice. And he was like, you know what? I'm always down.
Yeah, that's crazy. Alex says that here. Shout out to Alex. RJ did amazing getting the call morning of. Like, that's wild. And that's I do think that is a testament. You guys have been around the team, especially you and Wade. I know especially Wade, you and Zach especially have been around Demolition Fight team a lot longer than I have, but it seems to be par for the course with that. You know, those guys and gals are always ready and willing. You know, RJ's leading the pack, I think, right now because he gets the most opportunities to fill in right now. But everybody, I mean, all the way up to Dylan Budka, who's had to wait for that call to fill in for somebody else to get his first UFC fight. Hell, that's how he got into the UFC, right? Was it not a short notice for them to get to the Contender Series in the first place? So, yeah, a testament to the team, I think. You know, what they say, one of my favorite lines, and remember the Titans, attitude reflects leadership, Captain.
Hey.
So, let's go. Left side, strong side.
Yeah. So, yeah, kudos to RJ for that win and stepping in late or last minute. We kicked off the card like with Zakari versus Phillips, and that opened up with a TKO victory by Sakari. He went in there and put on a performance, and we've seen him multiple times, and he looked clean, crisp, and he put the pressure on Phillips, and he just couldn't get the angles because Zakari was cutting him off and just overwhelming him.
Got him out of there quick too.
Yeah,
that second round.
Yep.
Yeah, Moody's been doing great. We've had the luxury of seeing him a few times on Carnage Media. We had the luxury to talk with Dom Zinder. One week we had him at the commentary. We know a lot of those folks on that team, and they are well trained, well versed students of the game. And so it was nice to see Zakari continue to improve. So he's definitely seems like somebody that's going places to me, Wade.
Yeah, I think so. Very skilled. Clayton, did you have another one that stuck out to you?
I don't want to jump too far ahead because obviously we got to talk about the main event. But honestly, one of my favorite performances personally came in a loss. Connor Smith. He was we could even see visually at the desk. He was so much smaller than I believe he fought CJ Helms.
Yeah.
He was so much smaller, but that kid's heart is bigger than his chest. I love watching that kid fight. He's going to get in there no matter what. We saw it in Carnage kickboxing. You know, he was about as small of a 45er as we could have had, but he got in there and went toe-to-toe with whoever we put in front of him. So overall, I really enjoyed Connor's performance, even if he came up short. He's fighting again this weekend, so
no, it's classic too. I was just gonna say, if there's anybody that's given RJ a run for the most about it, you know, dude that we at least call fights for, it's got to be Connor. I mean, he was making jokes when we had the last Carnage fight series about, you know, I'll jump into the heavyweight. You know, I don't know if Coach would allow that one, but you know, we've made those jokes before. Yeah, Connor's probably showing up with weights in his pocket, you know, so he can fight. So he's ready to fight anybody. Tip of the cap. I'm not going to take my hat off because I mean, we got some good viewers here. I can see you guys out there on Twitter. So shout out, get at us, fire a tweet at us if you want to be a part of the show. We can see you out there. But yeah, guys, that was another good one. Or Wade, I'll kick it to you. Do you have any thoughts on Connor's fight as well?
Yeah, I just want to say kudos to him. I think that's going to play a big factor when he turns pro because he's going in there up weight classes, down weight classes, and getting all that experience. So when he gets about it, when he gets a pro, it's all going to be his weight class, and he's going to been there, done that. He's going to have all that experience, and I think he's going to have a really good pro career when he turns pro. He's still so young.
Yeah, you get to see so many more, like even if it's not stylistically, you know, you're fighting a heavier fighter, you know, obviously now so when you deal with a power puncher later in Lowry, you have to fight somebody smaller. It just gives you so much. You have seen so much, like you said, Wade, by the time you get there, where it's just going to be a real leg up for you. So shout out to him. Another one, guys, that I wanted to point out, get your thoughts on was Faith Nichols versus Destiny Page, two of our most notorious fighters on the Carnage Media YouTube channel. I believe Destiny is still one half of our most viewed fight to date on YouTube, her and Sydney Leith. shout out to Sydney as well. And then Faith is right behind those two. I think her fight might be second or third on YouTube as far as most views. So these were two. This was another one that had, I was sad when I walked into that awesome mall and had to borrow some equipment from you guys and just saw how cool things looked. But I was already sad coming into this one because I knew some of the fights on this card. This wasn't the only time. There was also the Nasia and oh god, what help me out, guys?
Sierra.
Wyra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. For some reason, I had it as Cecilia. I knew that was wrong, but that was a rematch. I was excited about that one. I was really excited to see Faith Nichols and Destiny Page. So, did you guys have any thoughts on that battle?
I thought it was it was very technical. They were in there. They didn't stop. They didn't slow. As up with the lighter weights, they just got cardio for days, and they just can throw. And they
Gentlemen, I will say, I gotta correct you guys. Faith Nichols versus Emily Adkins has 19,000 views on Carnage Media's YouTube, while Sydney Leith versus Destiny Page, 16,000.
Oh, Faith is at the top now.
Yeah,
okay.
I didn't think that.
A new queen of Carnage. Heck yeah, there we go. I mean, listen, all three of them are great, by the way. But yeah, that's awesome. Thank you, Clayton, for that live update.
Yeah.
I was curious. I didn't know how close anybody else would be, and I was like, well, you know what? We'll give that a look.
Shout out. Yeah. But yeah, no, I agreed. It was a technical fight. They both saw, I saw a lot from both of them that I enjoyed. I thought that maybe Destiny, I thought maybe had hit some of the heavier shots, but volume wise, I do think it was Faith. She's good at throwing feints and everything too. So like the footwork was good. The hands looked good from both fighters. So it was everything I expected it to be. Always a hard fought contest between those two. Clayton, did you have anything to add to that one?
Nope. You guys summed it up very well. Overall, great fight. Very competitive, very exciting from start to finish. Close for sure.
Yeah. The one fight, I think it was this one, Peyton Spurlock versus Isaac Alsop. And yeah, Peyton came in just ready to bang, and he stopped Isaac with a TKO in the second round. He was throwing some haymakers too, and it's like it was nice. It was entertaining.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Another Peyton, that's another person we've seen at least a handful of times, I would say, over the past year or so. It was always a good fight, honestly. Like every time we see him in the ring, looking good. So interested to see who he'll draw in the next Ego boxing card, because I'm sure that one will be a banger too.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Especially they do it in the Pickle Center again. I'm telling you, that's a gold mine there.
Dude, because they try. I mean, we talked about this earlier, and I didn't get a chance to throw this in there, but since we mentioned it again, they already travel really well.
Yeah.
And like Fightopia, when they have an away meet, so to speak, you can tell that, the whole gym and all of the family members from everybody at the gym that could make it and whoever. I mean, they roll deep around there. So it's such a home field advantage for them when they can get in a big space like that and fill that many seats. And it was nuts. I mean, we were there hours beforehand getting set up, and people were just walking around. I've never had that many random people walk up to us and ask us about an event. I do think there were plenty of people there that were just walking around in the mall that day that were like, oh, this is cool. You don't see this very often. Yeah, I'll be back. What time? So yeah, it's amazing. And so, yeah, I can only imagine. You could hear it. I didn't quite have to only imagine, but you could hear how loud they got, but I'm sure it's something else when you're there in person.
For sure. Going into the co-main event, Quentin Shear versus Chuck Hinton. That was a pretty good fight. Quentin Shear imposed his will, got the TKO. Oh wow, words. TKO. Words. Hard. TKO in the third. What did you guys think of that fight?
Phenomenal. Yeah.
Sorry, wait, can you say that one more time?
I was just asking what you guys thought of the co-main event.
Oh, outstanding fight. Another Fightopia win, I believe, in that one. That was, kind of a back and forth brawl until the end. It was Colton, right? Was in that one?
Quentin.
That's right.
Another-
Quentin was obviously very undersized in that fight. I was talking to Zach Dominique, obviously co-founder of Carnage Media, at the table, and he said that Fightopia has been having a really hard time finding Quentin opponents because nobody wants to fight him. Like, the guy's 185 pounds of pure muscle. So shout out to the Bear King for taking that fight. He landed a couple good shots on Quentin, but Quentin was a fast starter from what I saw.
Yeah.
At the start of every round, he would really get after him. So, like I said, overall, very impressive performance by Quentin Shear. That might have been the loudest that we heard. We can call it an arena, right?
Yeah.
Call it an arena. That's the loudest that we heard that arena the entire night. Overall, great time. Interested to see what Quentin does next. I'd like to see him get back in the MMA cage here soon, but we'll see. We'll see if they can find somebody who wants to fight him again.
Oh, and I was mistaken. That wasn't the co-main event. That was the one
Okay,
right
that's
before-
why I got confused. I was like, all right, we can roll with this. But yes, he did. Quentin was just so much faster than the Bear King. And Zach and I did the math. I think there was 171-pound difference.
Whoo, because it's if anybody who's watched Quentin fight and they didn't get to see this pay-per-view and they hear you say, yeah, Quentin was obviously undersized in this one, they're probably chuckling a little bit, right? Because like normally at his weight, he's a pretty tall guy. It's like, yeah, he's not going to be undersized in any fights. But then you're like, oh, okay. Yeah, that's what happens, I guess. Yeah. So yeah, Alex says that was a real David and Goliath fight. Yeah. Like normally those are the odds we see Connor or RJ in, you don't normally see Quentin in that position. So shouts out to him. Just same thing we talked about earlier though. Like that's gonna add so much for him going into his career in the future. And I'm gonna just echo what Clayton said about seeing him in the MMA cage soon. That would be great.
Yeah. All right. Moving on to the co-main event. Clayton.
Real co-main.
I'll let you take the lead on this one.
This one was Colton's fight, right?
Yes.
And remind me of his opponent's name real quick.
Shaquem Asdeen.
That's right. I believe Shaquem trains at New Generation in Toledo as well.
Yes.
If I remember correctly. Obviously, you got two great guys from two great camps. New Generation out of Toledo and, of course, Fightopia out of Piqua. And Colton ended up walking away with the victory. I thought it was a very, very quality fight, like very technical throughout. Colton just ended up getting the better of him.
Yeah. Remind me, was this the one? Is this one where the fighter almost fell out of the ring?
Yes, it was.
Yeah. I was in that moment, I was like, Kev would have loved this moment, right?
Dude,
I'm so jealous, dude.
So we're sitting on obviously one side of the ring, right? Directly across from us is where this happens. Just falls out of the ring. And I'm like, oh my God. Me and Zach both could have died, like right there. If it was on the other side of the ring. Like that could have been it.
Yep. It was a first round KO, and he just goes through the ropes, and you saw him roll to the end, and then he just rolled back. I was like, oh man, that was almost.
I was blown away that they let him, because I believe they gave him a standing 8 and then they let him fight again. I was blown away that they let him do that, because he
literally
did
pulled
not
a
look
Rocky
all there.
4, right? Or which one I don't remember, but yeah,
one of the Rockies.
Yeah, getting knocked down through the ropes. And honestly, it would have been hilarious if I was there and if it had happened on our side, because I believe this weekend was the first time I didn't have to bring my webcam for the comp, so I would have been like, oh hell yeah, it wasn't my camera, sorry boys. So I've been laughing my ass off, dude. Oh, Alex is he fell out of the ring by the camera guy. Yeah, Alex said saw it live, right? His legs were gone.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's an interesting one to see that one. I mean, we've seen fights called for a lot less, right? We've seen that we've seen, I think we maybe earlier that night I saw fights called off for less. So it was an interesting one, but You know me, I'm always going to pound the drum for fighter safety, but it sounds like everybody was okay. So we're all good there. And, that's why you got to watch those live shows, folks, because you never know when we're going to see a moment normally scripted for the big screen. All right. Either that or you'll get to see one of us covered in someone else's blood, which is fun.
Also fun.
Yeah. It's fun for you guys.
Yeah.
We enjoy it a little.
All right, finally, the main event, Kyle Barga versus David Music. What was your thoughts, Kev?
Always an absolute banger. This was another one, when you guys were like, oh yeah, David Music's the main. I was like, I love the Ohio Extreme. I love the Ohio Extreme. A well picked main event. I mean, what you guys were there live, so one thing I know. Just from having been there before, I know that we could hear David's punches probably through our headset without the mics picking it up. What else were some things that the live audience caught that I might have missed?
Clayton, I'll give it to you on that one.
Overall, just a super technical fight. Like, you have two obviously very accomplished MMA guys. David's 5-1, and I think Kyle's 3-0, maybe in the cage, something like that. So obviously, you know that these two guys know what they're doing, right? Yep. You don't headline a kickoff show, an initial show without having some skill there. Overall, another very close fight. It really could have gone either way. I think the difference maker was David landed more punches when it counted. I guess when I thought it seemed like he was, I don't know, it seemed like obviously in amateur boxing, this doesn't matter as much, but like his left hook was finding a home, if I remember correctly. So that very well could have been the difference maker there. Very close fight. Yep. That was also David Music's last amateur bout, gentlemen.
Yes, he's going pro.
Turning pro. The word on the street is sometime in April, I believe, is when they're trying to get him out there. April 6th is the date that's coming to mind.
Ooh, well, yeah, nice. I'll be watching. I'll have to go split screen, brothers. That's night 2 of WrestleMania. So, but you know what? You can't miss a David Music fight. So we'll find a way.
Well, yes, that's also Dylan's first fight.
That's Dylan's first
fight.
We'll
be triple screening it, boys. God damn. What are you trying to do to me?
It is confirmed. Cage Thunder 26. They're out of Akron. Great promotion over there. April 6th. David, the Great Nuke Music's pro debut.
And if you guys are interested in booking Carnage Media for an event, we would gladly help you on any day that's not April 6th. Okay.
Yep. Yes. We'll
be busy.
We're
not working. We're already working that day. All right. We got Dylan. We got David. I think you just answered this, Clayton, but for the folks at home, Zach, is that a pro boxing or MMA debut? I think you said Cage Thunder. I'm assuming it's his MMA.
That is a pro MMA debut.
I had to double check.
Cage Thunder is one of my personal favorites here in Ohio. They had a big show over in Canton at the Canton Civic Center. It's this big old arena. It's awesome. It was so cool. A lot of Demolition talent ended up going over there. I know Jaden Talker was on that card. David Music was on that card. So very, very, very good racket they got going over there. And Cage Thunder, if you guys are looking for, a media partner, not on April 6th, hit us up. You know where to find us.
That's right. That's right. I had to double check because we have seen boxing in MMA cages now. So I just never know.
True.
You never know what you're going to get.
That is true. That wraps up for Ego Boxing Series, The Beginning. Great show.
I miss taglines in the UFC, you guys. Like UFC 1 was UFC 1, The Beginning. I believe UFC 2 was No Way Home. Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
UFC 299? Are you kidding me? Come on, let's figure it out here.
Speaking of UFC 299, bring us right into the next segment.
It does. So UFC 299 was last weekend. Me and my buddy cooked up a little 5-legger and we lost 4 out of 5 legs. So I will not be sports betting when I turn 21 next Wednesday. Officially.
Oh, that's brutal. Probably the best, probably better, good move. At least you're gonna lose it. You can have some fun doing it.
Yeah.
But, True. But overall, outstanding night of fights. Obviously, you got your main event. Sean O'Malley kind of just ran over Marlon Vera, controlled the whole fight, start to
Put on
finish.
a master class.
50-45 on 2 cards, and then he actually did get a 50-44.
Yeah.
Cool.
I kudos to Vera. His chin is freaking
Yeah.
steel because he caught the most vicious knee up the middle in like the 3rd or 4th round, and still kept going.
Literally, it looked like it just bounced off of him. Like that didn't hurt him.
Yeah, he didn't phase him at all. He just kind of like boom and went right back to what he was doing. I'm like, I would have been out. I probably would have been out. That was a vicious knee.
Oh,
Yeah,
my
that would've
skull
done it.
would have like imploded from that, probably.
Yeah, it would have looked like a Mortal Kombat fatality. That'd
Yeah,
be-
absolutely.
Yeah, my nose is already busted. Actually, you know what? That might fix some things for me. I might take a knee to the nose here soon. But yeah, his face by the time that fight was over, it looked almost like a different person. Look at his face was about swollen shut, but
Oh yeah.
still hung in there. Still took everything the champ had to offer. So I feel like I got to give some props to the guy. But yeah, it was an easy decision, right? To say the least. No controversy this time. I know sometimes they always say don't leave it in the judge's hands, but if it's going to look like that, I guess you're fine.
Yeah. If you're going to dominate like that, like you're probably good to go.
Yeah.
But to kind of run through the rest of the card real quick, I would like to formally apologize to Dustin Poirier. He slept Bentois Saint-Denis in the 2nd round. Yeah, he kept trying to go for guillotines. I don't know if you guys saw that. He went for like 4 of them and kept missing.
Yeah, he had a comment on that. Sadly, I didn't get to see that. My phone died on the way back from the event, Ego, and I missed that one.
Time to get a new phone.
I swear I didn't steal the chargers. I swear I didn't take any of the phone chargers with me.
And then, gentlemen, sadly, but also kind of exciting, Michael Venom Page did end up beating Kevin Holland. I thought that one was pretty straightforward.
He had Kevin.
Kevin just could not figure this dude out.
He couldn't. He was mad.
And then, guys, I don't care. Jack Della Maddalena got lucky. He did. I don't care. Gilbert Burns dominated that fight. Got caught with some BS knee right at the end. Shot for a takedown. JDM. That was a perfect knee, though. Respect that. Like, ended up finishing it on the ground. Brought a tear to my eye. Piotr Jan did get back in the win column. First time in like 2.5 years or something like that for him. So that's good to see. Former champ ended up taking one from Song Yadong. And then a couple prelim highlights here. Curtis Blades knocked out Jalatin Almeida. That was a good fight. Good to see Curtis Blades get a win. I saw today he said he's not going to fight Cyril Gane because Gane doesn't want to fight him and has turned him down 3 times already.
Really? I didn't know that.
So interesting development there. And Michel Pereira, one of the fan favorites, ended up getting a submission this time. He's normally known for like trying to do side kicks off the cage and stuff like that. So, and gentlemen, I would argue one of the most interesting prospects we've ever had in MMA made his UFC debut last weekend. He's Cuban, Rebelis Despain, something like that. He is 6'7", fights at heavyweight. Just a mountain of a man. He is a former Olympic Taekwondo guy. His first 3 fights in his pro career lasted a total of 19 seconds. And I'm sorry to say, guys, he almost doubled his cage time from his first 3 fights in his 5th fight. And ended up beating Josh Parisian in 18 seconds, knocking him out while stepping backwards.
Wow, he's really fallen off.
That's some power there.
Like, what? How? How? And his last 3 fights, not his first 3, my bad. His first fight didn't make it out of the first round, but he still knocked the guy out. So it doesn't really matter that much.
Dude. This guy sounds like he's coming out of a Rocky movie.
Yeah, a guy to watch right
obviously.
there.
He's like Yoel Romero. They make you a machine. Still to this day, one of my favorite like banter things is when Bisping was champ, Romero won a fight, and he's like, "I love you, Mike," and Michael Bisping just flipped him off. That was a good one.
That's funny. But I just want to bring it back to Jack. Did you see that he posted that he broke his forearm
in the first round? Yes.
Yeah. Like
Allegedly, even though he probably has X-rays to prove by now, Jack Della Maddalena did break his arm. That honestly makes sense to me. Like Gilbert Burns was kind of beating the crap out of him before that. He got I want to say he landed 7 takedowns or something like that. So.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, how are you going to defend if with one arm? You're not going to stop many takedowns unless you throw a knee at the right time.
Apparently that must be the cure. But he also, gentlemen, did one thing that I've never seen anybody do in MMA. He called out Shavkat Rakhmonov after his W. Nobody does that.
I didn't see that. I was packing up the car.
Yeah, nobody calls out Shavkat. Very interesting fight there. I believe JDM's now won 17 straight fights after starting his career 0-2. So,
yeah,
I can hate on the guy as much as I want, but the proof is in the pudding. So, I wouldn't say I'm really hating on him. I would say I'm more sad that Gilbert Burns got knocked out like that.
I know.
So,
I know, yeah.
The funny thing was, though, is as I'm packing up the car, I'm watching this fight, and then some guy's like, "Oh, is that Gilbert Burns?" I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "Is he winning?" I was like, "Yeah, he's dominating right now." And then it was the last couple, last minute and 30 there, or something like that. And I'm putting it in my pocket, and I'm packing up the car, we start going. I'm looking, I'm like, "What happened? What did I miss?"
I got a little bit of a head start of you guys. I was listening to it in an earbud, and I was like, "Oh man, Gilbert's cruising. Let's finish this last minute." And then I heard, "Oh!" from Joe Rogan. I was like, "Ah, shit." Well,
yep.
There it is.
But that wraps out 299. Brings us to Kev's Wrestling Minute.
Actually, I do have one shout out, or 2 shout outs, I guess, before we dive into the Wrestling Minute. Gentlemen, we got Tai Tuivasa versus Mason Tibera this weekend, but nobody cares about that because Brian Bam Bam Barberina makes his return. Opening up the main card this weekend. Kev, we're going to use your phone to watch this.
Let's go.
We're opening up. He's the first fight of the main card, taking on known veteran Gerald Mearshart out at the Apex out in Vegas. So shout out to you, Brian. The boys are backing you. And another middleweight just recently announced his first UFC fight, gentlemen. Dylan, the Mindless Hulk Budko, will be taking on Cesar Almeida, former Glory kickboxer. He's 4-0 in MMA, and he holds a victory in kickboxing over Alex Poatan Pereira. So interesting development there. He's 1-2 against Pereira, but he still beat him, right? That
right, yeah.
Yeah, it still helps to have won.
Another Contender Series guy.
Yeah, that's right. I think that's going to be. Oh man, I think it's going to be a great matchup.
I think so too.
Ooh, did you see that Dylan also? And I can't remember. Was it Fremd? Dylan put out a post saying, "This is who I want next," because he's been talking some shit about me. Apparently, do you know?
Yeah, I looked on Twitter for that and I couldn't find it. But I mean, if Dylan beats this dude, he can fight whoever he wants, and if Josh Fremd wants some, he can go get some. So.
Well,
I love it. I mean, I love having somebody on your list already,
Nice little fun fact. I don't know if he wants me to put it out there, but I'm going to say it anyway. Zach, good old Wolfman, he fought Josh Fremd back when he was fighting.
Really?
Yeah. Before the UFC and everything, Zach fought him.
All right. We are definitely tapologying this.
Oh, man. We got the inside scoop, man. That's who we got to have on next week.
So Josh Fremd, it looks like he got Zach with a guillotine at Iron Tiger in Finley.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
All right.
Zach's probably mad right now. He probably
He
turned off the TV.
Yeah, sorry, boss
probably
man.
is.
I'm doing the next pay-per-view by myself, damn it.
Small world. That's the funniest part about combat sports, right? Is
Yeah, right?
It's such a small world.
It is. Because I didn't realize it either. He's like, and when that was announced, and Zach was like, you know who that is, right? I'm like, no, I don't remember this. And he told me, he's like, yep, I fought him. I was so pissed.
Where does
Alex said what I thought Zach would say.
All right, well,
We'll
you'll have that on
always
these bigger jobs, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, just fighting. Small world.
That is awesome. Yeah. April 6th going to be a very, very busy day, guys. And if we're going to go ahead and pivot into the Wrestling Minute, I'm actually going to move up the calendar by one day to April 5th because the night one main event of WrestleMania has been locked in. It will be The Rock and Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins. So huge news for WrestleMania. Going to be the biggest one of all time, most likely. They are doing some really stupid shit though. So let me tell you guys about this one. They are having a 6 tag team gauntlet ladder match for the tag team titles. Like it's WrestleMania. You already had to stretch it to 2 fucking nights. Sorry, we're past 3 minutes. And you don't have enough talent to have a 2-night pay-per-view. I'm sorry, WWE. I love the WWE. You just don't. You don't have enough talent for a 2-night pay-per-view. If you did, you'd do them every month. Okay. So you don't have the talent for it. And so then you're going to just cram to try to get as many paydays in, I guess, and say, hey, let's have 12 thrown together tag teams in a ladder match, which you're going to see at Money in the Bank here in a few months anyway. So why the hell this crap match needs to be added is absolutely beyond me. But that's the build that we'll get to look forward to as the tag teams get ready for their main event. But I'm actually going to pivot a little crumb here for the AEW fans. It's actually a big night for wrestling's second biggest promotion right now, maybe even as we're speaking. They are in Boston, and they are going to be they basically put out a little pay-per-view type card. They do that a lot. They try to make these big television events to get the ratings up. And one formerly known as Sasha Banks, the new Mercedes Moné, is going to be debuting for AEW. They did just pay 10-year Japan veteran Okada. He's like the biggest name in Japan in wrestling. So AEW has spent probably about $1 billion in the last month or so on 3 wrestlers. So we'll see. That's a bold strategy. We'll see how that one pays off, Cotton. But we have one last announcement for you guys, something that's going to be pretty cool in the wild world of wrestling. I am currently making plans to attend and potentially even get some media credentials for SummerSlam 2024, which will be in Cleveland, Ohio, gentlemen. So going to be big. Of course, we're going to have to deal with the dipshit Paul brothers both being there because it's in Cleveland and Logan still has a belt. They probably won't take it off him anytime soon. But yeah, we'll have that. So, and we'll also be staring at a Prime logo in the center of the ring because I forgot to tell you guys that the WWE has finally bit the bullet, just like everybody else, and they will be doing matte advertising now. The first one we saw, of course, was Prime. So get ready, Netflix fans. Not only are you going to have Chris Benoit blurred out, you're going to have Brock Lesnar blurred out, you're going to have Vince McMahon blurred out, but in about 5 years, when the rest of the world catches up to all of Logan Paul's depravity, the whole fucking ring is going to be censored. So enjoy that. Enjoy that content that you're going to get out of this. Shout out to Logan Paul, one of the best scammers in the history of scams. And that's it, gentlemen. That is my wrestling minute today. So maybe, hopefully, I can convince one or two of you, maybe Zach, to come to SummerSlam with me. But either way, we're going to have some live coverage from that premium live event. So that's it, guys. I'm done. Wrestling Minutes out.
Awesome. Well, that wraps it up for tonight. Where can I find you, Clayton?
You guys can, of course, find me on Instagram and Twitter at cscalina12 and follow my podcast, The Hot Take Sports Podcast, at The Hot Take Sport. Excuse me, at Hot Take Sports 16 on all of your social media platforms, uploading every Monday. Give us a look. Kev, I believe it's your turn.
One of you owes the other one a can of Coca-Cola, and I will be live again in about 20 minutes over on the Dweeb channel talking about The Bad Batch episodes 6 and 7. So James and I are planning to have a great time talking about that. So if you're a nerd like we are, come hang out. It's DD Weeb. Double D Dweeb. There you go. Find us on YouTube. We'll also be streaming on our Twitter account and my Twitter account, which is where most of you are watching this right now. So shout out to those of you on Twitter. We love to see you, and you might see me again on your feed here in just a few minutes. Sunday nights, Tuesday nights, the Clout Route, 6 to 8 p.m. You really want to go check out our last episode. We had comedian Dalton Pruitt on. That dude is hilarious. We had a great time. Went damn near 3 hours. It was a great show, so be sure to check that out. Bite Size Sports, bitesizesports.com. We are doing some sports betting now. I hesitate to say that, Clayton. I know you won't be reading those articles, but Trevor has built a model for betting the over-under on NCAA games. So if you want to be in on that, you can also just join our Discord where he posts all of them for free as well. So go ahead and check us out, Bite Size Sports. And I think if I missed anyone this week, I am so sorry. I got to start writing these down. Although I do have our pay-per-view sponsors memorized, Wade. So
me too.
Hurry up and get us some more. So I need a new paper. Clayton and I got this covered now. Make it harder. All right, Wade, where can they find you, sir?
Yes, they can find us. Well, find me here with you guys. Carnage Unleashed Wednesdays at 7:30, as well as you can find me at Carnage Media PPV on all socials right now. Facebook's being dumb for some reason. We're in Facebook jail right now. But yeah, you can find us on Instagram, YouTube, especially YouTube. If you want to watch some past fights, go check them out. Subscribe, like, and subscribe, and you can watch all the old fights that we've covered. Twitch, Discord, pretty much anywhere. Carnage Media PPV. Thank you guys.
That is right. And we do thank you all so very much. And of course, you already know what's coming, you longtime viewers. So we will see you next time. Enjoy your farewell ad. See you next week. Sports. Are you looking for an energy boost without the jitters? Let our friends at Dubby Energy help you with their fantastic selection of flavors. Just visit www.dubby.gg and use the code BITESIZESPORTS at checkout for 10% off your order total. Again, that is www.dubby.gg. Code